Greetings, Legionnaires, and welcome to another episode of the Disney Duo. I'm Jimmy, and you are...
Lori, Jimmy's mom.
Yes, fantastic. You're getting really good at that.
I am, yeah.
She's got... Hello.
Hi there.
The Mouseketeers, which, by the way, I found one of the old little Mickey Mouse hats over there has my name on it, and I was like,
Oh, I'm so old. I used to watch the Mouseketeers on TV. Yeah, Annette and Bobby and,
Nice.
Jimmy.
Was there one?
There was the older gentleman.
Well, doesn't that just play out real nice? Like he was the old sad Mouseketeer by himself.
No, he was kind of the ringleader.
Oh, he's the ringleader of all the children? Excellent. Perfect.
Okay.
Anyway, so hi, we're here to talk about anything related to Disney. And today I wanted to talk about something that is a little more maybe ethereal. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little less tangible, and that really consists of the reasons we like to go to Walt Disney World specifically. We're talking about those today. They could extend to any of the other parks around the world, but with my mom on the show, she's got some specific stories that might be really fun and heartwarming for those out there who love Disney or are missing Disney or just can't wait to get back. So today we're talking about the top 3 things that make Walt Disney World just truly magical and special. It's weird. I've always wanted to make like a full video on like why I go there. So this will kind of maybe be part of it. Because for people who don't go very often, they just don't get it. They're like, why would you pay all that money to go stand in line in the hot Florida sun?
Or the people who say, been there, done that. I just want to say... leave me alone.
Yeah, that's okay. I think it just weeds them out. You know what I mean?
You don't want them there.
You don't want them.
You don't want them
I brought people there who just clearly are not into it, and it hurts. But then you got to break away, and you go do your own thing.
You do.
But anyway, so this is in ascending order from bronze to gold.
Absolutely.
All right, what do you...
Well, the first thing that I appreciate, there have been times in my life when it's been rather stressful for children. I was a college professor at 3 different universities, and also I was a 2nd grade teacher. So I had my day job and my night job, and so when I could get to Disney, I would go there and everything would fade away. I didn't have any emails from students. I didn't have any phone calls from parents, and the kids were with me, and everybody was happy. So the stress reduction is amazing, and it continues to be. I go there and I don't listen to the news. I don't, it's just in this magical, surreal atmosphere, and you don't feel stressed. It's one of the biggest decision you make is where are we going for dinner? So the stress, I love music. Music has been a huge part of my life, and the music everywhere. I don't even think you can go anywhere without music there.
Oh yeah, well you're saying it's calming. That's part of it, the stress relief of it.
Yeah, and it's just so beautiful. It's just, it takes you back to movies or moments in your life that you remember. So the music is wonderful with that no stress. And I know I've seen families that aren't so happy there.
It happens.
It happens.
We've been those families, I'm sure. We've been that family, occasionally.
Occasionally, probably. But most everybody's happy there. And the cast members are happy, and it's just not a lot of sadness. And boy, do we need that right now, huh?
Yeah. Well, I see it. This is kind of, you have that lumped in there on the bottom there with clean or cleanliness as well.
I love that cleanliness.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing. From your hotel rooms to walking down Main Street to Animal Kingdom, you just feel like there's no clutter. Yeah. And so the lack of clutter is a lovely thing. It's just clean.
I know 2 of those things on there were really big sticking points for Walt, actually.
Really?
The cleanliness with having, I think I've heard 2 different things. It's either 30 feet or 30 steps you can't take in the parks without having another trash bin. That's because amazing. Walt kind of, back in the day, I love this, where it's just, and maybe this is true, maybe it's not, but he's like, a lot of people, you have a piece of trash or something from food or drink, and you'll walk that amount average distance before you just kind of toss it on the ground and litter. So he was like, well, let's just put something, every 30 feet or so, and that way people don't have to. And I was like, that's so good. Also, another thing about not stressing, you talked about the news. Walt really made a big conscientious decision to not put real newspapers in the park. He was like, I want people to come here. I don't want real news. I don't want people to be like, freaking out about that sort of thing. So I thought, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Because that's kind of the point of it,
Absolutely.
And that's actually one of the biggest criticisms of the parks, though, is it's escapism. But I don't know.
Who doesn't need that from time to time?
Yeah, and the right doses, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. This is a pro-Disney show, all right? I agree. Those are great. That's so good.
My second thing would...
Wait, you don't... How dare you?
I
want to be part of this, too.
I'm sorry. I'm so used to... I'm so used to just talking.
She's a teacher. She's like, I'm used to dictating, and I'm over here, and I'm like, excuse me.
There you go. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Well, for number 3, I want to put down their atmosphere as well. That's kind of tying into yours a little bit. Talking about one thing that you brought up with me a few different times, the music, how it bleeds, especially in Magic Kingdom, I think more so, from one song into another, and you never notice the transition. And that's one little aspect of it. And then also, like, the architecture, all the theming, and how, like, there's no place else in the world. I haven't been to Tokyo Disney Sea. I've heard that's even better, but that does it as good as Disney does. Because I've gone to other parks, and they do a good job, like, that aren't Disney, but it's just not the same. Like, you can tell. Like, there's something about it. You're like, it's just so dang good. And when you're drenched in that atmosphere, and you're hanging out over in good old Frontierland at night, and there's like not a soul over there, it's amazing. And you're like, I could live here forever. It's like it's just like going splash thunder. Yeah, I just love it. I think it's so cool, and you can't really experience like that anywhere else. It's like you're almost walking into a movie or back in time or into a retro future. That's just, there's nothing quite like it. So that's my number 3. It's kind of the atmosphere of it all. Yeah. Okay. Now you're number 2.
And then I'll make sure you get your number 2.
Yes. Okay. Be part of this.
The cast members. So Disney cast members, you're amazing. You are incredible. There have been moments that have just kind of blown me away. I remember one night we had actually picked up this adorable German young man at the German Pavilion.
It sounds strange when you say it that way.
Wait,
he was working there. I think we've talked about this a few times on this show before, or I have.
Okay.
He was working at the German Pavilion. He was like 17 or 18.
Yes.
We befriended him.
We did.
And we would hang out with him when we'd go down to Florida.
When we'd go down. And then he became a family member practically.
Yeah.
He'd come in for Christmas. And
Sven?
Yeah.
I miss you.
Yeah. And so Sven and I were watching the fireworks on the last night. We always go to the Magic Kingdom. And I was getting a little teary because not only was I saying goodbye to the castle, but I was saying goodbye to Sven. And this Disney cast member, was walking down, and he saw me with tears, and he said, I want you to have my Tinkerbell pin. He said, I know you're sad, and you can take this home with you. And I'm, Chris, yeah, I know. So then I really cried. But something like that, and he did not have to do that. It was a beautiful pin, too. It wasn't just, one of those that you trade for. It was, so I have that in a special spot.
Oh.
So that was an amazing night. When we would go to the beach club years ago, and maybe this wouldn't happen anymore, but there was a doorman named Art, and he would greet people as we walked in, and he'd say, the lady, the gentleman. And when we would come in, and now we went maybe twice a year.
Yeah, very lucky. I was very lucky. See, I have someone to prove that I've done this.
I know, yes. He would say, oh, it is my friends from Minnesota. And I thought, how do you know that?
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So just that, we've gotten to know some of the cast members, and they make you feel so, so very special. My husband is a Vietnam vet, and a couple different things that have happened. We were at Port Orleans, Riverside, and as he came in, I don't know why, I think he had his hat on from Vietnam, and someone noticed it. And when we were walking through one time, the concierge motioned him over, and he said, we wanted to give you this. And it was this big poster, Military Mickey, and everybody there had signed it. It was amazing.
What? I didn't hear about that. That's amazing. That is wonderful.
Yeah, that's
so cool.
Yeah, and then we were at the Art of Disney down at Disney Springs now.
Great store.
And as Mac was walking by again with his hat on, one of the artists that is doing the artwork in the actual store paused, and she said, "Excuse me, could I talk to you for a minute?" And so they talked for a moment, and then she handed him a picture of Mickey in military garb that she had done. And she said, "I want you to have this." And Monica, we'll just use her first name. Monica. And she has one of the special tags, too.
With the blue tag.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's become a very dear friend of Max. So, and me too. I just admire her so much. So just those moments where people do things and they don't really have to do them. It's just so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great number 2.
No, your turn.
It's so good that I actually have the exact same number 2. I was thinking about maybe making this number 1, but this is probably my number 2 as well. The cast members. You guys are the best. So I like to say, and a lot of people do, that they're the real magic makers. So basically what we've gotten from Walt and the Imagineers over the years is this kind of architecture of all these things. All these amazing, cool places that you can go and experience. However, I find that more often than not, if it's just a brief moment, an interaction with these people who, this isn't just a job for them, a lot of them. This is like what they want to do, or it's just like who they are. And it's just so refreshing, because it's not, you don't often get somebody there who's curt or kind of dismissive. Like more often than not, it's over the top, but not like infringing on you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're just going over and over. Like, that guy, he came and gave you a pin. He's not like, he didn't like give you a big hug and go like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sad too." Like, it's not that. It's not that. And I have so many like fun little memories and stories with these cast members that if you show them just even in a smidge of gratitude for the hundreds, thousands of hours that they work there and do not get a thank you or get yelled at by people, for something completely out of their control, and they can keep it together. But if you say thank you to them, it's just like, it's made their day, and then they're making your day. It's fantastic. And ever since I started vlogging in the parks, once in a while, I'll kind of like, I'll see one and maybe I'll talk to them or I'll ask them a few questions. And I feel kind of bad, like shoving a camera in their face. More often than not, they're pretty happy about it because like, "Oh yeah, I want to talk about my favorite thing." But I love the cast members. They're so good. They're so good. And like I said, I think I can only count on one hand the number of times that I've had like a less than stellar experience, but it's because it's Disney. And if you have someone who's just like normal monotone talking to you, that at Disney is like heaps down the list, I mean, that's like, you're like, "Oh, I didn't expect that." But more often than not, 99.99999% of them are just lovely, wonderful people. They make it great.
All of them, even the cleaning staff, or
my gosh,
the people who bring your luggage to your room, like at Old Key West.
Oh yeah,
they're just amazing. Or if they're going off to do some cleaning and they're on their little carts, they'll wave. And
I'll just tell you this: I don't know what kind of rush it is in my brain, and this will probably date the video a little bit, but from the Magical Express, when you see those first cast members, all I'm thinking is like, "Oh, thank goodness!"
I'm home.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh," because like, you can tell the difference of just the level of pep and positivity between a normal person working at some other job versus the cast members who are just really excited to be there.
Like the people renting cars at Alamo or something.
Yeah, it's a little different.
And then you see the Disney cast and they're like, "Hi!" They're
just so excited to see you. I also love the bus drivers. They're usually really great. I love the ones who are giving like little trivia and stuff. I'm trying to like Art. Obviously, was one that I loved. Art because he would I'd usually go and I'd be the only guy there. He'd be like, "The lady, the lady, the lady, the lady, the gentleman, the lady," and I'd be like, Art, so good to see you. Man, the cast members. I will call out one specifically, and I think I've talked about this one before. The people over in Dino Land, USA are some of the most jolly, just fun people I've ever met in my life. And one person who's working dinosaur, she saw me and I was the first person on the ride that day. I beat the first family out, so I got a car all to myself. So I went by myself. I was like, that was incredible. I came back around And I went down the steps, and they saw me, and they saw that I was vlogging and stuff. And I was getting off the ride the second time. Lady says, she says, like, do you want to go again? And I was like, we can make that happen. And she's like, come here. So I stepped off the ride. This time rover went forward. Another one came up, and she was like, take a seat. And I was like, and I had another lady do that for me at Space Mountain. Because I went on there and I was like, man, I'm trying to kind of, film, and I'm kind of trying to figure out which track I like best. And she's like, you know what? We'll do the rider swap thing. Tell them you're doing rider swap. So once you get off the ride, you can go right back on. And I was with Levi at the time. We're walking away, and this is when Tron construction was happening, or the exit construction was happening. So we had to walk outside, and he was just about to walk outside, and I started walking to the left to go back up. And he's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to ride again because they told me I could. I left him. I was like, no, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm going to take it as a non-parent to go.
I'm sorry, Levi.
It's okay, he's fine. But I got to do both. So, and she's this nice young lady cast member who did this for me, and I was like, I almost proposed, but I didn't know the backstory.
Yeah.
You know, it's a quick way to get to my heart if you let me just re-ride again.
There you go.
You'll be my best friend.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We did
good.
that on Soarin'. We were there with some friends from Minnesota, and one of them had a Gopher t-shirt on. And so after the ride, this young man came up, one of the cast members, and said, hey, fellow Minnesotans. And we talked for a minute. He goes, come on, stand over here, let the next ride go, and then we're going to put you right front and center.
Nice.
So they just...
Yeah. They're really nice. We had a similar thing happen last time we were down there at Epcot. We were sitting on Soarin', it was kind of end of the night, and they're like, you want to ride again? I was like, and they're like, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, the cast members.
Absolutely.
You guys are incredible. We love you so much.
Thank
we
you.
wouldn't have Disney World, Disneyland, any of the Disney parks without you. You're fantastic. Please, just thank a cast member the next time you see them.
Yes.
Especially like the security guard cast members.
Oh,
which,
I know.
I feel so bad for them. Like that. And I think maybe it's gotten easier with the new technology, but I remember thanking some of them over in California, and they were like, they looked shocked. Like I had said something like some sort of like just in different language. They were like, huh?
I always say, I appreciate you so much. You make me feel safe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without them, you couldn't have fun if you're not feeling safe.
No.
So that's why I say this number 2 could easily be number 1 here for this. But what's your number 1?
Fireworks at the Magic Kingdom. I cry every time. It doesn't matter which show they're doing. And that's what I do the last night when we're there.
Sure.
And then I go down by the flagpole and I hang on to the fence and say, I'm not leaving.
Yep, not going.
Not going. So how about you?
That's a good one. I actually found a new place to start watching fireworks that isn't on Main Street. I know, blasphemy.
Is the music still good?
Yeah, it's really good. But I won't tell you. It's in the vlogs if you saw them back in the Walt Disney World 2020 trip. So you got to go back and watch those. But yes, there's a great new spot that I found. I know it's not Main Street, but this place, it has
Main
a new
Street's
feature.
Kind of crazy.
Main Street gets nuts, especially now with all the pandemic stuff. I don't know how they're gonna.
The craziest. Jimmy and I went for it was like a 24-hour.
Oh my
opening.
Lord!
What was that for?
It was some sort of it was like 10 years ago, so it might have been like well, not even 10 years ago. It was a special thing. Magic Kingdom was open for 24 hours.
So I was coming up by the ice cream parlor, and Jimmy was coming up Main Street and meeting at the ice cream parlor corner, and we could see each other. Yeah. But for maybe 20 minutes, we just stood there. It was horrible.
I was like swimming up a stream of people because I wanted to go see Illuminations and no one else in the group wanted to. So I went to see that, and then I was going to run over and see the fireworks, and it did not happen. I tried to get there, it's just not happening. No. Yeah. So much fun.
Check out that new spot to watch fireworks.
Yeah, you have to go.
I'm going
to. It's day 1. It's the day 1 vlog from Walt Disney 2020.
Or if he wants to eat supper, he can tell me.
Good one. So for me, this is kind of more the ethereal one, but it's kind of goes hand in hand a little bit with like the moments that you wouldn't expect. So whereas cast members can make these moments come out of nowhere, I think the moments where you're standing in line with your family, or you're riding together, and you're actually talking, communicating with each other. Those are the best moments. Those are the moments you're going to remember over the actual attractions themselves. I can't believe it, right? Like, it's insane. You're like, wait a sec, I'll always remember Rise of the Resistance, or Flight of Passage, or whatever else. But you're really going to remember how those people reacted, what you guys talked about, the meals you had together, because that's what it's about. That's what Walt wanted. He wanted people to come together. And it's incredible, especially at Walt Disney World, where I feel like at Disneyland you get a lot more locals, which is fantastic as well because you get a different perspective. But the people in Walt Disney World, you can sit down next to anybody, and this is with family mostly, but with other people. You sit down and you're like, hey, where are you from? And you can just have a conversation because you're all there for the same goal, to hang out with people who are like-minded. And that usually comes obviously in the form of hanging out with your family and memories, building them with those people. But you can also do it with other people. I've somehow become like this floating entity in the parks where I'm like part of a family for like an attraction. And I'm gone. And I meet these wonderful people, and we have this like little like, and it's like, oh man, I might never see that person again. Yeah. But it's wonderful, and it's like, where else are you gonna get that? In this modern world, nowhere. Because if you sit next to somebody on a bus or a subway or anywhere else, and you try to talk to them, they're gonna think you're insane. Like if you wave at people, if you wave at people in a Starbucks or something, they're gonna be like, what is that crazy person doing? Like, but at Disney, oh no,
that's true.
You can do it. Actually, the Americans, I should say this, you try to wave at people many times, the strike rate, not super high to get a wave back all the time. That's why you gotta go to Japan. They're waving constantly over there. Those are my people. Oh my gosh. I might never come back. Like, they're like, oh my god, I love you all. But yes, so again, more ethereal, but it's the moments you create with your family and then maybe other people you meet. And it keeps the magic alive. It makes extroverted people even more extroverted. It might make introverted people a little more extroverted, or maybe terrified. Maybe they don't want to talk to everybody else, but you just strike up conversation with people in line because you're standing there.
I think it's the atmosphere. I think it feels safe, and you know these people are happy, and they seem like good family people, and so you just start talking. Yeah, it's great. Well, those are our top 3 things that make Walt Disney World so magical and wonderful, and the reasons like you should go besides the other ones we talk about all the time in the show. I appreciate you hanging out and talking about this. This is really fun. Thanks for the stories. You.
You didn't even tell a story about where Peter Pan talked to you guys for like 10 minutes. That's okay. He did. Once 10 or 15 minutes. It was great.
He did. Yeah. Can I real quick?
Well, we already did. We just did. We have to have you back on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. But I appreciate you guys watching us. Thank you to everybody. Please just comment down below. Tell us your reasons. What are the magical reasons that you love going there, or why you would like to go there if you've never been before. Also, a huge thank you to our patrons who make this show possible. I appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and just remember to adapt and overcome. Bye-bye.